Hi everyone, today I just wanted to show you how I remove gel polish from natural nails. As you can see, if the gel polish is removed correctly, there is no damage to the natural nail whatsoever. I begin by using a 120 grit file to lightly buff the surface of the gel polish. This allows the removal product to penetrate into the polish. Once I've finished the first hand, I then get a cotton ball which I cut in half and I soak it in OPI Expert Touch Lacquer Remover. This I've found is the best remover ever for removing gel polish. It's very gentle on the hands and nowhere near as harsh as 100% acetone. I then place the soaked cotton ball onto the fingernail and I use my little white nail clips to hold it in place. And I allow this to soak for approximately 10 to 15 minutes. It's then time to remove the clip and the cotton wool off the nail. And with my metal cuticle pusher, I very gently scrape at the product. I'm hardly using any force, I'm being very gentle, and this eliminates damaging the nail plate. As you can see, the gel polish is removing quite easily, and in some cases it peels away from the nail on its own as soon as I'm removing the cotton wool. There's a few reasons why I suspect this happens. One of those is the fact that I'm using the OPI Expert Touch Remover. I have found since using that my soak-offs have become much quicker and easier. Number two, I feel it's important to make sure that you do allow the product to soak for a good length of time, and I always go by the rule of 10 to 15 minutes. If after that time the polish isn't coming off easily, rather than damage by scraping at the nail plate, I simply put the cotton wool back on and the clip and allow it to soak for another 5 minutes. And lastly, I've recently started to use the shellac base and top coats. I use the Express 5 LED curable top coat with my IBD True Gel and Pro Gel polishers. And since I've been using the shellac for the base and the top coat, I have found that the removal process is much easier and quicker, and I'm putting this down to the fact that I am using the shellac, as it is well known to have very quick and easy soak-offs. The tiny little bit of polish on the free edge of the thumb here was being a bit stubborn, so like I said earlier, rather than scrape harshly at the nail, it's best to just put the cotton wool and the clip back on and let it soak for a little bit longer. And as you'll see later on in the video, when I did actually remove it, it came off quite easily the second time. In most cases, I would suggest that instead of using the metal cuticle pusher, that you use a wooden orange stick. I am a trained nail technician, so I know how to properly use this implement, but if you do not have the correct training or knowledge, then you could cause a lot of damage to the nail, which is obviously what you don't want to do. So in that case, I definitely recommend that you use the wooden orange stick in place of it. After the gel polish removal, I then like to go in and shape the nails with a nail file, and where necessary I use clippers to cut back the free edge as well. I then go in and do my cuticle work using my metal cuticle pusher. I'm still very gentle with this, and I'm very careful to use it so that I only remove cuticle from the nail plate and I'm not scratching into the nail plate. I pay careful attention to any cuticle on that nail plate and make sure that I get all of it off so that it does not cause lifting issues with the gel polish. If you are untrained, I would suggest that instead of removing the cuticle in this way, that you actually get yourself a cuticle removal cream and follow the instructions on the bottle, but make sure that you eliminate all of that product before you apply your gel polish. I also like to go in with a 240 grit white buffer block and just smooth over the nail surface. It just gets rid of any lumps or bumps that may still remain on the nail plate, but it doesn't actually harm the nail itself because it's such a fine grit. I also like to run it over the free edge, as sometimes I find after filing there's a few little bits of jagged nail there, and the buffer block helps to get rid of this without actually shortening the length any further. And here I'm just removing the little piece that was on the free edge of the thumb that was acting a bit stubborn, and you can see from soaking it a little bit longer, it just lifted off quite easily without hardly any effort at all. After I have prepped the nails, I then like to go in with a spray sanitizer and a soft brush to remove any dust and impurities off of the nail, and then it's ready for a gel polish application. If the client was not wanting a reapplication, I would then apply cuticle oil and massage this in. I've not done this on this nail as the client was wanting a reapplication of gel polish, and I also wanted to show you that if you do remove gel polish in the correct manner, there is no damage whatsoever to the natural nail. I hope you've enjoyed this video and the tutorial and found it to be helpful. I will put a list of the products that I use in the description box below, and please, if you have any questions, just ask and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.